What's up, YouTube community? Still in here, coming at you guys with a quick little tutorial on wave management. If we can get this replay to work, hopefully. Okay, I think. So let's get to the wave matchup. We're going to be looking at the top lane, Fiora versus Trundle matchup. It doesn't matter really what point of view we look at, but we're playing the Fiora today. So let's go ahead and speed this up. So what I want to talk to you guys about is how to control your wave to maximize your CS and XP lead on the enemy player. First of all, right off the bat, I've got a good tip for you. In the top lane, you can sometimes go for cheeses. You could get in this bush, you could get in this bush. This one's really popular. You could just set up here and wait for the enemy laner to walk up like I kind of am right here, and just hit him with a nice little trade and then back off, right? Or if you're watching your jungler's buff like I was, you can show up late, and what I want you to do is just get on the creep as soon as possible. If they are on the creep as soon as you are there, it's, you know, they should be either on the creep or they should be going for a cheese. This guy actually is just slow getting up there, which is gonna cost him. Because I got on that creep before he did, I'm gonna be able to last hit one of them, most likely, or he's gonna force me to, or he's gonna try to go for a trade whenever I go for the last hit, right? The thing is here is I'm gonna actually look for trades as well, but since I got that creep low, I have the option of, you know, I could miss it, right? Worst case scenario is I miss it, and he goes in for a trade and gets a good trade. But I know that I pretty much can out trade him with just an auto and a Q vital, and then walking off with the movement speed, right? It's gonna out trade him, or at least even trade him. Now, what we look here is, we actually do see him come up, and he's actually gonna try to finish that creep ASAP. He's just gonna try to just get away with finishing that creep ASAP, and that can free him up to harass me afterward. And if he does that, I'm gonna miss this creep here, the one that I got low. Now, I could have finished that creep and then went for the trade, but I saw an opportunity, since that he was going up for that creep, to try to all in that creep for some reason. I took that opportunity to hit a vital, and let's just go ahead and play it. We hit him with another auto, so not bad. We eat an auto and some minion damage, but not bad. We do miss the creep, so you know, obviously I'm just trying to go for trades. So I walk up, hit it, auto another vital, and just Q away. So yeah, we're going to talk about wave management, but we're also kind of incorporating it with the abilities, because it is relevant. So we're getting creep here. Now, the first things that you want to think about is the battle to level 2 and the battle to level 3. In the top lane, you can go for advantageous trades. If you get level 2 before the enemy, or if you get level 3 before the enemy, you can go for an instant trade, and you're at a very high advantage. You've got an extra ability, you've got more stats, and you know they're trying to finish the last couple creeps to finish their level. Perfect time to engage on them, right? So it's kind of it creates a battle for level 2. First to get level 2 is what you want, without sacrificing too much of your health bar. Obviously, you need to stay at least even for this to work, or not too far behind. Just need to be able to know that you're going to be able to take them on. So right here, he's on the creeps because he actually is behind on because he was taking on his last melee minion. And he is kind of having good presence here. He's on the creeps, and I'm not on the creeps. So that's what you want as the Trundle player. You want that freedom. You want what you unlock by trading well is the freedom to last hit safely without the enemy being able to punish you for just last hitting like that, or just sitting on the wave or whatever, or sitting near the wave and just focusing creeps. Because if you think about it, every time somebody takes a creep, there's probably an ability or an attack that you can do at the same time that they're taking that creep on them to punish them, right? We see this a lot in China and Korea. They punish the enemy laner whenever they're about to last hit it, or finish a creep. So having this presence here is a good thing. Being able to be on the minions, it's just an indicator that things are going pretty decent for you. Okay, but I'm actually sitting back because I'm again looking to trade and outplay this guy. I'm just looking to shake things up, right? So we're gonna let him stay on that creep a little bit long. Probably too long. I'm not a perfect player. I should be, there's always punishment you can make. I let him take at least 3 or 4 creeps there, and I didn't even try to go up for an auto and then Q through him for the vital hit or whatever, and then try to run down this way, which is a trade you can do. But you can see here I'm trading, and he's pushing into me. So what I'm looking to do here is, freeze the lane, right? You always want to go for freezes most of the time. When they're in lane with you, most of the time you're going to go for a freeze, unless you're looking for a dive. So if they happen to be low and you might have your jungler coming up, or you just want to, it's solo queue, you don't know where their jungler is, and you just want to push really hard so that you can get your wave to crash on their turret and then go for your dive as soon as possible before their jungle can react and get up there. That might be a situation where you actually do want to push as fast push while they're in lane. Other times you would fast push, obviously, is when they're not in lane. They might be ganking somewhere, you can't follow up on it. Fast push it. Don't be sitting there last hitting. So right here, this is a situation where if the enemy recalls on you, right, you need to judge how soon they can get back there. Do you have time to crash it, or should you last hit? Because those are only 2 options. You should never be in between there. You should always be either last hitting or fast pushing, pretty much. There is rare occurrences when you kind of do in between, but that's not worth speaking of for educational purposes. This is the only things you need to worry about is either last hitting. Should I be lasting, or should I be hard fast pushing, right? So right here, we know Trundle is not running teleport. That's something you need to keep in mind here. Let's go ahead and rewind. Let's only red side. So he recalled, he didn't actually recall. He died, right? So he's back up right now. Pause it here. What would you do? Right here. What would you do? Why would you do that? It's kind of a hard choice here. We have a wave that just showed up, right? So that wave is going to be down here. And by the way, in the game, don't think about you don't need to worry about where your wave is, really. You just need to be worried about the state of your lane right here. Because you can see it coming up, so you know at that point your lane's pushing pretty hard already. But you know it's going to push hard because you're on the creeps. You're actually there, present, and finishing them at the end, so it's going to push. Things are going to go in this direction a little bit faster with you there last hitting, right? But the question is, do you want to crash it right here, fast push, or last hit? Let's see what we do. We're last hitting. And the reason why is because that wave here, we see we see our own wave here coming up. It's just in the back of our mind, it's just an indicator. We know another wave is coming. It's just, you don't need to think about it actively. It will come over time just naturally. You understand what's going on. You know, the fact that yours wasn't stacked and this one wasn't stacked basically meant things were super kind of even. So that means this one's going to be here pretty soon. These are just things that come over time. You'll get understanding of how the wave management works. You don't need to be overthinking things, but I'm just letting you know that the reason that we're not fast pushing here is because this wave comes up and kind of stops us. This takes a certain amount of time to fast push, right? It takes a finite amount of time. Did we have time to fast push it and before he gets there with Fiora? Not really, because it's a cannon minion, especially a cannon wave. Not really. We would have been like right here with the wave crashing in right here right now. It would have been crashed about it would have been at the turret basically, but he wouldn't have missed it. He would have been back to get the XP. He would have been back to farm it. So the fact that we just slow pushed it is building up our wave here. Our wave didn't die to tower because we last hit it. We didn't crash it. So our wave is stacking up. What you want to think about here is when you last hit, your wave will stack up. If you're successfully last hitting, your wave is going to slowly build up, unless they're clearing it at the same time as you, right? But let's just think about, it's a slow push, your wave stacks up. Fast push, your wave is going to be pretty small, normally. So since we're slow pushing, we have a big wave here that gives us strength. Right here, what do you think happens if Trundle walks up to me? Or even gets out of position or anything like this? Or even walks up to where I can just do a little trade with him. He has to back off. It's not only the level advantage, it's the fact, what I'm talking about right here is the fact that I have a crash. More minions than him. If we get into a fight right here, he's taking more minion damage than I am. So when you're slow pushing, you build an advantage here, a fighting advantage. So gives you opportunities to either poke or do a trade, maybe even all in and kill. Just make sure you have a ward though. That's key. So when you're doing this, make sure you have a ward, because what you're doing is very aggressive. And you can see here, we're walking up, and let's go back, slow that down. We're walking up aggressively. We have this crash. He goes for, we know when he got off the minion wave that he was going to go for a Q. I mean, this isn't like super high yellow. So we know he's a simple player. He's a low yellow simple player. He's creep farming, and then he sees a Fiora's threatening him. He's a simple guy. Hit him with a Q, right? So we parry it. and he loses that ability, which is basically his only damaging ability. Which is this is a bad matchup for the Trundle, I'm pretty sure. But what we're focusing on learning here today is how I use the crash. You know, if this was a good Trundle, he would have better. He would probably be doing a little bit better. But anyways, we get back, we do the trade, and we get another minion. And here we're just gonna probably, you know, fast push if you want to recall here. If you want to recall it as soon as possible, kill those last 3 as soon as possible, so you get a couple seconds extra gain. So right here, we could have gone for a recall, but what I like to do is kind of drag their jungler to top side, so that the game is easier for my team. It's a low-key secret way of just hard carrying. You're pressuring right here, and you're baiting them by creating an opportunity for them to show up. If you're a good player and you outplay them, you're just wasting the other jungler's time. Your bot lane's pushing. They could get ganked by Twitch right now, but guess what? Twitch is pathing top because he knows that I've just been standing here in this guy's face for how long. In fact, this guy's probably pinged to his jungle, you know, what do you do? You know, why aren't you here yet? Blah, blah, blah. So, right here, I thought I could probably kill him. The fact that he was like showed up at level 3 or whatever. I probably could have killed him if I did it right, but I didn't have my Q immediately because I used it on over here. So, right here, we're just too low to do anything. We would normally crash this wave really fast. Since we killed the other laner, it's not going to be there, and we have good positioning. We would be able to crash that. We would choose to crash that. But we don't have the health to crash that, so we're just going to recall. Let's get back to lane. Alright, once again, it's coming back to my side. What I did there is just kind of thin it out a little bit. I thinned it out a little bit too hard, but it's also a way of just getting all those low ones really easily. I was probably going to lose a couple if I just tried to auto them all right, because they were all about to die. I just threw my parry and got like 5 or 6 in a row. So it thinned it out. It thinned it out a little bit too much, though. Ideally, you want this to be a little thicker so that you can freeze for longer, right? The longer you freeze, the longer the enemy can't really do much. They can try to come up and break the freeze by being aggressive like I was over here. What I did down here was really a freeze break. I prevented him from being able to really do much, so the wave got to his tower, and he had to tower farm. So I crashed it. I broke his freeze and I crashed it. What he's can't do is break my freeze. I'm too strong, and I'm too good of a player. So we're gonna freeze as long as we can, and we want the enemy wave to be big because then it takes longer to kill, right? The freeze lasts longer, and they can't walk up. Another reason they can't walk up is because jungle ganks. When you try to break a freeze, obviously it's risky. Just like that Twitch showed up when I was doing that, but luckily, you know, we made the better of it. So going for a nice little poke trade there. He's just too scared to actually turn back. He takes press the attack and ghost, which I think doesn't work in his favor this game. If he had grasp, he could have been proccing grasp really strategically a lot of the time and be able to actually get some trades in. But I'm sure he's used to just rolling people with the all-in, press the attack, ghost, and just hit all your buttons, right? Probably works most of the time. It's not going to work today, boys. So, what we're doing here again is we're breaking the freeze. But we do see Urgot trying to gank us, trying to stop us from getting away with this criminal activity, right? But again, since Urgot came up there, didn't really do much. Took out my pink ward, which was annoying. I almost wanted to turn on him, but it would have been risky. I didn't know where Twitch really was. But could have turned into a 1v3, and that's not what you want, because you're just feeding. Because if they kill you really fast, they're also going to get a crash on you, right? We know that. And if they get a crash on you, you're missing a lot more creeps, and they're getting plates, and that's when you get a deficit. That's when you get a gold deficit, right? This meta is so plate and CS focused that this is why I'm making this video for you guys. You can win the game just off wave management. Now look at this. We go for poke trades, get HP advantages, right? And then we go fall back to last hitting. This is what we're doing here, I believe. If we crashed it, he wants us to crash it. He wants us to fast push here so that he can hurry up and get his creeps, right? He's not even been able to walk up and get his creeps and last hit his creeps because the threat that we have. Because part of it is our HP bar. So get an HP advantage and then start your freeze. You know, we're freezing in the middle of the lane here. It's still considered a freeze. The freezes don't have to be over here by your turret. Freeze is just last hitting. Last hitting equals freezing. Freezing equals slow pushing. Slow pushing equals crashing. Stacking of your wave. Stacking of your wave creates safety. This is just one step, step-by-step process of what happens here. And it all starts with just, obviously the very beginning step before all that is just being better than your enemy player. Being able to trade with them or get the better of them in the top lane. If you don't have that, everything else becomes harder. You turn into the trundle and you're getting last hit on. You have to try to break the freeze somehow. And the onus is on you to break the freeze, blah, blah, blah. But we're talking about snowballing our advantages here to hard carry yourself out of low ELO on hard stuck accounts. That's what this series is about. So this is what you're going to do. You could win your lane. You could be better than the other person and trade better, but still lose the game because you didn't push your CS advantage, your plate advantage, hard enough. If you just flash push this, he's going to match your CS. If you slow push it, he's going to have half your CS. That's a general rule of thumb. If you're last hitting the whole time, pretty much, and he can't really do much, these guys are, and then, or you get a crash on him and he loses creep that way, you're going to be doubling his CS very easily. That's how you double people's CS. It's not just been magic. It's not him really missing that much. He's missing because he can't walk up and finish them. And if you freeze for 10 minutes, that's an exaggeration, but if you freeze for what seems like 10 minutes, they are literally bleeding CS. And that's how you get him to bleed CS. Right here, let's look at the CS. He's at 36, and we're at 64. Like I said, you're going to double him. It's not quite double, but almost. So he walks up because he's frustrated, man. He thinks maybe I can get this one. Maybe I can get this one. Let's test the waters, right? Punish him. Punish him. Punish him. Don't let him walk up. Don't ever let, if you have the advantage, don't ever let him walk up and CS. Don't be like, non-confrontational about it. I see so many people they get an advantage like this and then they just focus on the creep. They're only looking at the creep. Creep, and then he walks up, right? Okay, you got this one, and then he gets this one, and then he gets this one, and you get this one, and you get this one, and he gets this one, and then you get this one, and he gets this one, and you get this one. You're not getting any advantage. What are you doing? Go for trades as soon as he gets in range. Trade him. Push your advantages. Walking up is not okay for us. So we punish him. He knows his place. Gets out of there. He's trying to recall. I think he's trying to like fake recall and get me to push, which is what people will do sometimes. It's like they fake recall there, so you think, oh, maybe I can crash it while they're gone, and then you start fast pushing, and that's what they wanted. You fall into their trap. Don't do that. So I recognize that he's just fake recalling. Really, he's not going to recall there because I would crash it, and he's not in a place where we really have to recall. That's why we know it's fake. So we were just last hitting. We're not fast pushing. We were just last hitting. He gets frustrated again. He walks up. We kill him. Pantheon shows up. Like, again, we're bringing more pressure to the top lane, taking pressure away from the other lanes. Pantheon shows up. He does pick me up because I'm way too greedy, and I came back when I just misplayed that. You know, I could have actually killed Panth, and then at the last second, I actually could have just walked off as well and got out. But I do neither of those things. I completely misplay it, and I die. So it is what it is. Zoe picks up the kill, and she's hard crashing it because she doesn't expect. I think it's because she doesn't expect Orgraf to be here to cover. She's trying to hard crash it and prevent more creep onto the other side. Good job, Zoe. It's a good call, honestly. But he does show up. Unfortunately, he does get the creep. It was a good. I would have done the same thing that Zoe did there. I would have tried to crash it. It's not troll to the top laner. It's not, why are you pushing my lane? No, she's actually doing what she should be doing here. An understanding of wave management, guys, is very important. So you can be on the same page of your team and not just think they're trolling you or something like that. They're not, man. Even if they were, guys, don't type back to anybody. Don't rage. Don't tilt about it. So here, we got a little skirmish breaking out. We're extra strong here. We have level advantages on everybody. You know, we're jumping on, hitting vitals, and we're just like preserving our HP bar, playing it smart, not too fast. Just look for your vitals. Like I said, the Irelia nerf just hit yesterday for 10.20, and it's pretty substantial actually. I see the win rates are not so great right now, so we're doing this video on Fiora, giving you guys another option of something you could play to maybe hard carry your games out of silver and gold. So Fiora is a great pick if you're just trying to snowball and you think you are a better player than the other person. Go for trades, you know, look for dives. That's what she excels at. Split push. We are taking Ignite this game because I suggest Ignite for low get low. It's kind of like a, you know, I consider Ignite in top lane as my gank. That it's like a little mini gank that you get. It's an extra damage, right? And it does more than most junglers actually do in ganks. So just think of it like that. You get a free gank. It's better than getting telly and only using it for your lane, which is what I would be doing because I'm not telling into a fight with a bunch of Papegas, you know, silver or gold players that don't know what they're doing and just started some stupid crap. These guys are going to be baiting you into telly ganking. Don't fall for it. Again, very mindful of not telly ganking too often and just being very selective about it. So again, we actually do crash it here because he's MIA. And we have a feeling he's just trying to rotate or do something. We don't hard crash it because we actually decide we want to rotate with it. We have the vision advantage, the stat advantage and all that. So I'm like, why not? Okay, I'll actually go take the fight since I think I saw him like somewhere. So I just go down the river and then I end up ganking mid to make my time worth it. It works out good. So what he's doing here is pretty pointless. I think let's go back and actually look and see what he does when he gets to this lane. Let's look at what he guys. Let's see if he does the right thing, right? Tunnel, last hit. Nope. Nope. Auto. Q. Why are you fast pushing, buddy? You really think I'm not going to walk right back up and be back in time? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Trundle, when you're here and you're fast pushing right here, right? What's the point? If you even as fast as you can get there, I will queue through this wall here. I'm gonna walk here. I'm gonna be back in time. So all you're doing is hard pushing it to my side, where it's unsafe. You know, it's unsafe for the trundle to be over here. So it turns into another freeze. So that's why you don't want to make the mistake and do the wrong one. You need your judgment to be good. His judgment wasn't. He fast pushed it when he should have been doing the opposite. If he last hit it, this wave would still be over here. It'd be right here. Safe for Trundle. So that he can farm for once, right? Try to get some CS, buddy. You're at 47, I'm at 86. But he fast pushes. Thanks, bud. Thanks for fast pushing. I'm gonna last hit for ages on you, right? Deny more CS. Hemorrhage more CS from the enemy. That's our goal. Hemorrhage CS from him. So let's see if I make the right choice. I don't really know if I do. So yeah. We're not really fast pushing. We're gonna freeze it here. I didn't want to take too much minion damage, so I throw a parry in and kind of thin it out. Sometimes you can thin a wave. I thinned it out too much again. I really shouldn't have I need to actually work on that, and literally I shouldn't have hit any of those. I should have just tanked the minion damage and not hit any of them, right? To extend the amount of time that you can freeze. So right here, I'm walking past the wave. I'm trying to see if he recalled or not. If you can walk back here and see them recalling at the end of their recall, you can either stop the recall or you can see what's going on, and you might even see them at the end of their recall, and then you know that they based. That just makes your mind up for you. You know you're gonna hard crash it here, like in this position, because you can. You can get the push. You just have to kill one wave, and you have a wave coming. So, and you're level 10, so that's another reason. When you're higher level and get more items, you can hard crash faster, and it becomes more viable to do it more often. As soon as they walk off, and all of a sudden, with the Iron Spike Whip, or a Gore Drinker, actually, you can just hard push all of a sudden, and just like that, you go from a lane where you're last hitting and they can't do anything. Oh, okay, Trundle. Imagine being Trundle. You're last hitting, he can't walk up, so let's go do something else, right? You walk down here, I see it, I hard push it, and then the wave's already right there. It would have just been last hitting. I would have been last hitting it for a year if you stayed. Bad, it's a lose-lose, right? It is. It's a lose-lose. So, we're up here, basically. There's no freeze he can get here because there's really not that many minions. I mean, there is a minion wave here. So we are up here trading with him, attempting to get an HP advantage so we can break the freeze. You can't just break the freeze without an HP advantage, so we have to get that first, right? HP advantages are key. Think of that at the top. That allows you to do the 10-step process after that, right? Rengar coming in, trying to stop the gank, or recall, I guess, is all he's really getting done here, I believe. Oh no, I actually do go for the dive and get the dive. But this guy dies to creeps. Not good. And I actually could have killed him here. I didn't Gore Drinker. Let's speed up. So let's look at the state of the minions. They pushed into him, and he didn't even go to his wave to cover him. He went to the scuttle. What are you doing, Trundle? Once again, let's go back and look. Another mistake by our boy. Look at this wave. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Do you think it's worth it to walk up right here, go scuttle, and get... How much gold does it get? It didn't say. You know, it's not. I'll tell you that right now. It's not. The 7 minions were way more worth it. You know, he just decided against, you know, winning the game, right? So he goes down here. He goes for a gank. I'm pretty sure I do an MIA. I'm gonna crash it again because I know he's doing that, and they surrender. But again, guys, this is just some tips on how you might manage the wave. Just think about the first part is, you know, last hit and get the, you know, when the wave starts, you know, you want to shoot for level advantages at level 2. You want to shoot for a level 2 and you want to shoot for the level 3. That's why you fast push at the beginning. After that, you win those battles, you want to go into a slow last hitting phase, most likely, and focus on trading and getting the HP advantage. Unless you're just hard countered and you just can't win the matchup, and you just can't outplay them, and you can't outtrade them or whatever, then you just need to work on that, you know, work on that wave. Get every one of those creeps. Don't let it crash on you. Freeze it like I tank those minions like I did up here. Just work on getting that, doing that, and even when you're losing matchups, you're going to have the same amount of creep as the enemy, I guarantee it, or more. So, like I said, get the HP advantage, and it all starts from there, you know. And you can start just controlling things. Once you get that, now you're going to have an actual gold deficit. You're creating the gold deficit from the outplay that you did, instead of just outplaying people and not getting a gold deficit. Why do all the work if you don't get the reward, right? So this is part of gathering that reward in the most efficient way. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have a good one.